y'all, we ain't even in May good. We are not even in May good. This is like the second week in May, maybe the first full week. What's today's date? Is today the 8th? No, today's the, wait a minute. My mama's birthday was on Saturday. That was the 4th. So 5th, today's the 6th. The 6th of May, and life done life. We got to do our budget over. Now listen, it's not often that we have to do our budgets over. It's not probably ever that we have to do our budget over. But sometimes it happens, right? And I want you guys to know, if things like this happen for you, redo your numbers. It's never too late. A budget doesn't have to be at the beginning of the month. A budget can be at any time. When I first started this channel, I actually started it mid-month. So my first budget was like mid-month of a January. I believe it was January. So it was like my second 2 weeks. So we just did half the month. Started our budget. Something happened, and the cost to remedy the situation came to $2,500. $2,500. Actually, it was like $2,475. That's because the person did me a favor, because I used credit card, right? And credit card normally charges a service fee, but we were able to negotiate, because you know everything is negotiable. So I was able to negotiate. Can we drop the cost so that the total cost will include the service fee? So that's what happened. So that's why it wasn't an even 25. The closest we kind of got it before we was like, that's good, was $2,400, about $75. So this is why we have emergency funds, right? And for me, I said, you know what? It doesn't necessarily make sense to use an emergency fund, like to pull money from savings just to put money right back into savings, because you know, this is the month of May, and I have my budget done where I'm gonna put this much in this account, that much in that account. And it was like, so instead of pulling money from savings, I'm just gonna pull it from my May budget. Hence, we redid the May budget. I am so fortunate, that is not lost on me, that I'm able to take a $2,500 emergency and cash flow it within the month from the income that I bring in that month. I know that's not lost on me. But let's also remember, from the day I started working, and I'm going to say the day I started working, when I was 12, I prepared for the moments like this. Why? Because I've always been a saver, right? Even if I wasn't investing, I wasn't always an investor. That's the difference. So while I didn't always invest my money, I always saved, and I never, ever believed in debt. And I know a big reason why is because I never wanted anybody to be able to hold anything over my head. I just had too many run-ins with the debt law. Too many run-ins, guys. Too many. Knowing that, and it made me feel like I always wanted to break those chains. Never mind growing up, you know, and having times where certain bills, we just didn't have enough money to pay. Certain utility bills, like necessities. Never mind that. Credit cards weren't even a thing, because I didn't even have a family that, we didn't even have credit cards. Nobody could get approved for a credit card. So I never seen that, right? But for me, what I did see was just not able to pay bills, things that were owed, and you have to duck and dodge the phone calls, you have to duck and dodge collectors, things like that. And I knew I never wanted that for me. So for me, I never wanted to enter into contracts owing people for things that I really couldn't afford. So I never got into that game. I had too many run-ins. I'm telling you, back in the day when checks were a thing, I don't know, some of y'all don't know about this because y'all babies in Christ. But those of you who know. Remember when you used to go to the store and you actually paid with checks, and they would take your little check and run it through that little machine and go boop, boop. Y'all, why would they reject my checks? They wouldn't even take my checks. They wouldn't even take my checks. So I used to have anxiety even after I got my life good and we were still using checks, I used to still have anxiety that if they put my check through the machine, it wouldn't go through. So I always liked being able to just give you what I wanted to have, give you the money for what I wanted to have. And even with that check thing, it was Bank of America who messed me up with that, y'all. They used to have a bank practice. This is why these little shady linen practices, I'm just like, ew, I don't like y'all. But we use y'all because y'all are a necessary evil, a means to an end, right? But Bank of America messed me up with that because they used to have this thing where if you wrote checks, because everybody wrote checks back in the day, instead of cashing the checks in the order that you did them in, they would do it like highest check first. And what would happen, because y'all remember it used to take a few days for checks to clear, so sometimes for people like me who didn't always have it like that, we would know how to time our checks. We would know how to say, okay, I'm gonna write this check right now, and by the time it clears, the money will be in the bank. But no, Bank of America used to do this thing where they will clear your biggest checks first, regardless of the order you put them in. And so what that would do is it will wipe out your account, and then you will have like the insufficient fund fees, all of that. And then they would do the insufficient fund by transaction. And so they were sued for that. There was a whole situation. They were sued for that. They were found guilty on that. They had to do class action lawsuit, pay people back for that. That was the thing though. But that had messed me up for years, where it just looked like, girl, you be writing bad checks out in these streets. Then I also had a situation. Y'all, I had some situations. I've been on my own since I was 16. I've been living life. I've been a full-blown adult since 16 with a child, own apartments, roommates, all of that. So I also had another situation where when I went into the military, y'all, this ain't even what these videos supposed to be about, but we just be going off on tangents because y'all riding with me to work. So I had a whole nother situation where when I joined the military, me and my roommate at the time, we decided we're gonna do it together. We're going in on a buddy program. That didn't necessarily work out for us because I had this super amazing ASVAB score. And this is because learning has always come easy to me, and memorizing has always come easy to me. So even if I really didn't know, I can memorize some stuff. I can remember some things really fast. And so I've always been a high scorer on tests. And so my scores were amazing, where I was able to pick to whatever I wanted in the military. And I did not, I'm always going to choose my life first and my success first and the better path for me first over just playing little kid games like buddy program. And so therefore, because I was able to choose what I wanted, I chose to go into the computer field in the military. Her scores weren't high enough to do that. And I was just like, well, we'll be all right. We'll be all right separately. So we went in separate because I was like, I'm gonna do computers. Didn't know nothing about computers. My main thing, and this is where God steps in to help you babies, because I didn't know anything about technology. What I wanted to be when I grew up was a writer. When I went to college, before the military, because I did a short stint in college, my major was broadcast journalism. Not because I wanted to be a news reporter, it's because it had the word journalism in the title. I didn't have a mentor. So to me, broadcast journalism sounded like a writer. Had no idea, right? And so when I went into the military, guess what I based my decision off of? Because y'all gotta be smart. I said, because I was going in the Army, because I had a child. Couldn't do Air Force because Air Force didn't take you if you had a kid. Army took you if you had a child, but you had to give up custody. My mama took my custody. This is why she's on my payroll to this day. Because if it wasn't for my mother, I would, don't make us cry. If it wasn't for my mother, this life right here wouldn't look quite this way. If she wouldn't have sacrificed her time to take my child. I feel like when I had my son, I feel like my mom was only 34. She was like 34 or 36. That was lost on me at the time, how young my mother was, and I made her a whole grandmother. lost on me. She took my son so that I can join the military. My son was not easy because he had epilepsy. He outgrew it. And I'm going to say epilepsy because he's had 10 to 20 seizures a day every day. He used to be hospitalized for weeks at a time. It was a whole situation. My mom took him in spite of all of that. Payroll forever. It is what it is. And she be thinking she is, what's this? Okay. She be thinking she due for a raise, but girl, you're not my employee. Ain't no raises over here. But anyways, so when I joined the military, and like I said, me and my roommate, so what happened is I left first and my roommate was leaving second, maybe a month or so after me. So that means I moved out of my apartment, but she was still there. And so the understanding and the agreement was she was going to move out. We were breaking the lease properly. We had to do a few things to break the lease properly. I did my part when I left, but I feel like, and this is another thing with my family, they're riders. This is why my family be on my payroll to this day. My family are riders, y'all. They are riders. My family will drop everything and get it done. I think this is where I get my can-do spirit, because my family ain't never met a challenge that they said we can't do it. They be pulling it off. Let me give you another example. My one sister joined the Merchant Marines. She's there now. The day that she had to leave, because she just started, so the day that she had to leave to meet her ship was leaving from Philadelphia. So she had a flight from Norfolk, Virginia to Philly. Homegirl overpassed. And she last minute. And she a diva. And so when she got to the airport, her luggage was too heavy. Her husband was like, I'll just pay the extra fee. I think it was like $100, because ain't nobody got time to try to figure out what to take out, because they're running this close to her not making the flight. So when he did that, and then the lady put in to make the fee, taking the fee, the lady was like, oops, too late, because that's how close it was. Too late. They don't close it down. They're not accepting back luggage anymore. And mind you, she's going out to the ocean for months, so she was gonna need luggage. And so, you know, they're trying to figure it out. They're trying to work it out. The airline would not budge. And so my sister called the ship to be like, she missed her thing. But you know what my mother and my other sister did? They drove her behind to Philly. They drove her from Norfolk, Virginia to Philadelphia. And then the thing about it was, so the ship said, because this is blessings, this is favor. The ship was like, we will wait for you till 1. Not 1 p.m., y'all. 1 a.m. My sister and my mother got my sister to that boat at 1:05 a.m. in the morning. And then they drove back. My family are riders. They've done this for me my whole life. They've done things like that for me. They are the greatest support system I know. They've always been like that. My whole family, not just one person here, my entire family, my aunts, my uncles, everybody. I'm so freaking blessed. And they taught me how to be a support system. That's why on this channel, we are all about support. It's no holding back over here. I'm not like, ooh, I'm going to save a little bit for myself. No, we share it all. I'm like this in my friendships. This is why when my friends don't be coming through on this energy, it's easy for me to just be like, rethink the situation. Because I don't hold back. But yeah, I got people who be holding back. And when I call them to the carpet on that, they don't even see it. They don't even accept it. They won't even own it. But it is what it is, right? You can't raise, everybody ain't been raised the way you've been raised. It's okay. It's okay. But we set boundaries over here, and what we know is I'm gonna give you all I have. I don't do the whole you gotta earn my trust or you gotta earn my I give it to you unless I feel some vibes up front. But when I do see what it is, I adjust and I set boundaries then. And it's okay, boo. Ain't no hard feelings. So we still talking about the same story. Don't worry. I'm gonna get back to y'all. So when I left for the military, and again, my mom and my family, my grandmother, everybody, yeah, they helped finalize my ends on moving out since I was already gone. Like the walkthrough, the all of that stuff. They helped that part. Let's go off on another tangent. Y'all, one time I had this boyfriend and me and the boyfriend lived together. It was a horrible relationship. Horrible, abusive relationship. Horrible. Again, we don't always know our worth when we're young. Sometimes we have to grow into that thing. Sometimes it takes a lot of positive affirmations, a lot of positive workshops, a lot of church, a lot of prayer. Not just your own, but others gonna jump in there and start praying for you because you're too stupid to even know how to pray right. You be like, Lord, please let this man stay. No, Lord, take him, remove him from my life. So even with that, y'all, one time, me and this dude living together, horrible. And then I was like, I got to leave. So a way was created for me to leave, but it involved me having to move out. My mama, my grandmother, everybody got me moved in one day. And they still remember that day because that day it rained, it snowed, and then it was a heat wave all in one day. We went through all the weathers. My grandma even busted like a blood vessel in her eye from the, you know how your eye turned red from the energy of everything it took to do that for me, to help me. But my family never been judgmental, y'all. They never judged me or threw my sins and errors and ways back in my face. They never did that. They always just loved me and was just here for me and my shenanigans, y'all. Hold on, y'all blinking because y'all tired of here listening to me talk. Wait, hold on. Battery dead. Wait a minute. It's like when I park here, this thing is crooked. Where are my batteries? Don't worry. I remember what conversation I be starting with y'all. I know I start like 50 conversations in one, but we get back to the beginning. All right. So with the military situation, so when my roommate did move out and join the military, come to find out, the lease wasn't properly broken. Nor did she move all her things out, meaning she left some things behind in the apartment. And so the apartment basically charged us, I think it was like $1,600. It was like $800 a piece for like improperly breaking the lease and for whatever we left behind, whatever she left behind. I didn't even know that this happened because again, I'm in basic training. I'm in AIT. I don't even have communication like that. But the bottom line is that stayed on my credit report for a minute, and it took us, me and her, a minute to pay that off. $800 a piece. Ain't that crazy? And that's because, once again, like, we're just joining the world with our adult jobs, and the military don't pay you that much when you first join, but that's what it was. And so I say that to say, all of these things, some of these things, there's probably more of these things, always made it so I never liked owing anybody anything, especially corporations that will lie, corporations that did not have empathy or compassion, right? This is business. They don't care about my plight and what I'm going through. They want their coins. And so that's why I say ever since I started working, I set it up so that I always saved money, so that I was always able to pay for what I was doing in life, that I did not have to borrow or put stuff on credit. I didn't even believe in credit cards in the beginning. And then I think I started getting some credit cards, and it would take me a million years just to pay them off. It'd be something crazy like $400 because that was my max. But yes. And so it's not lost on me that I'm super blessed, that I'm in a great position, that I can pay for these emergencies out of what I make in a month. Also, it's not lost on me that I'm also blessed because this ain't my pattern. I don't have a pattern because sometimes in life, things keep hitting you. It's like you get through one storm and boom, here come another. I understand that, right? If I had to suffer a $2,500 mishap every single month, every few weeks, that will start eating at your resources, right? This is why I feel like money is energy first. It's energy. We got to work on our energy. We got to clear up our energy, y'all. We got to meditate. We got to just really start focusing and training our minds to think positive first, to think positive outcomes, positive solutions. How can we first $2,500 emergency? What ways can we do X, Y, and Z? We're taking Jay out of this conversation because this is my conversation. So, of course, Jay says he's paying for part of it, right? But I don't think of it like that because in my mind, remember I said I'd never like to rely on anybody or be in debt to anybody. So in my mind, with my budget, I do my budget first. Now, if you come through and give me X, Y, and Z, that's just icing on the cake. That's cherry on top of the cone. That's all of that. But when I look at my budget, I got to look at it from a point where I'm handling it first. My budget isn't relying or dependent on anything or anybody except for my job, right? Because that's what I've been getting. But even if I had a thing, let's say like if I say, oh, this contract's supposed to be coming through in the month of May. This is how much the contract is going to pay. Guess what? I don't even add that to the budget until the money is given to me. Because the bottom line is it's not guaranteed. Y'all know how many things, especially with YouTube, where it's like, this is what we're going to pay you, blah, 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 blah. And then it falls through at the end of the day. So that's why I say this is my conversation. When we look at my budget, it's my numbers alone. We're not factoring Jay or what Jay pays or what Jay doesn't pay into it. I just want to put that out there. So $2,500. So what I did is I moved around some things, and luckily for me, it was super easy. I only had to move around things from 2 line items. One, I originally said I was going to send $1,000 to the brokerage account for investing. That's my last account. I fund everything else first, and then comes that account, right? Because that account has no tax advantages. So boom, I set that to 0. We're not putting anything to the brokerage account. Brokerage account is the new savings for me. Whereas we don't really do savings, now I do brokerage, right? So 0 to brokerage account. The second place I took the money from to get this $2,500 to make my budget balance out was we were going to do $3,500 to the mortgage pay down fund. And I know some of you are thinking maybe it should all come from that fund, but no. The idea of paying off my house excites me more than the idea of what this freaking market's going to be doing in the future. A paid off house excites me more. So instead of $3,500, now we're only doing $2,200. Let me rephrase that. Instead of $3,500, we're doing $2,200. We're not only doing, we are doing a big $2,200. And once again, I just feel so freaking blessed and so freaking fortunate that even with this $2,500 issue that popped up, we still have money to invest into our future selves. So excited about that because this is a time to count your blessings. When lives and things pop up that you weren't expecting, that you don't think should be your problem, that you don't think should be a problem, period, this is when you start counting your blessings, guys. And so I'm blessed about that now. I had said before about sticky stuff in my car and I need to get that fixed. Clearly, in the month of May, we not getting that fixed because let me tell you, this stuff, I don't know what the name of it is. This is the big screen on the Tesla, right? Okay, so I don't know. Well, yeah, you can see this. You see these marks. That's the gooey stuff dripping out, right? So Jay put that down there because I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because other than that, it would just drip onto this. And you might see some of it here because it's super sticky. But it's dripping. Matter of fact, can you see that? Yep, you can. That right there. That's the drip. That right there. That. You know. That's the drip. And you might can see this line right here. That's the plasma bubble. So that. And it started off as some little bubbles. It started off like a little tiny, like a little bubble right here. And then it grew. Then the bubbles connected. And now that's how it looks. But like I said, it doesn't stop. Wait, whose turn is it? This one's turn. It doesn't stop these from, you know, me from being able to all right, there we go. Oh, this one's this side. It doesn't stop me from being able to move the screen. I'm not even paying attention. But it doesn't stop me from being able to move. See? Like the screen is still good. So that's what it is. The liquid is not toxic, so says the internet. And to fix it can cost about $500. So that is it, y'all. I believe we talked about all of the things. Y'all see, I'm like supposed to be, all right. It's not 9 o'clock yet, but I'm supposed to be at work, and I decided to just come over here, park, and finish this story with y'all. Count your blessings, especially in times like this. Count them blessings. And I do a daily gratitude list to my closest friends. They're my gratitude sisters. And this is the thing. Like when things pop up, this is when I gratitude the hardest. It's like we're gonna look at all of the positives, and I have so many positives. And one of the main, I mean, even the positive that even this $2,500, it don't feel like nothing to me. It don't even feel like nothing because I've taken care of my things. Like me paying $2,500 is not setting back any other goals because I met all my goals. And so I say that to say to you, keep pressing forward on your goals, because one day you're going to meet your goals, and one day when things like this pop up, it's fine. It's nothing but a thing. It ain't nothing but a chicken wing, because you're not going to have to go into further debt about it. You're not going to have to delay any of your goals for it because you're already there. So every month, every week that you don't have an emergency, when things don't pop up, fund them goals even harder. Fund them goals even harder so that when things like this pop up, you ready for them. You ready. You ready. They don't even knock you off your square. Like, I don't even feel no kind of way. I did not feel like, I feel like, this is what I heard about. This is life. I heard about you, life. I heard that life be lifing. I heard about you, but I'm ready. I'm ready because I listen to other people talk about you so that I would know how to be here and to stand up. Put on my gloves and square up when you pop up into my good life. Y'all, my life is back to being good. We handled it. We good. We good. All right, y'all. And we got another video we need to make today, but I need to do the research first. But it's another thing. And let me say this. Somebody said when I talked about the Walmart video about Walmart owing us money, somebody was like, you late. Even though the deadline ain't till June, right? Somebody was like, you late? I've been knew about that. And good. Why didn't you start a channel and tell us about it then? Who cares what you knew? We talking about what the masses know. Because a lot of us didn't know. I didn't know. So anyways, there was something. I found out something else I didn't know. But the deadline. If you thought I was late then, we about to be real late now. Because the deadline is amongst us. And I don't even know if it's going to be enough time to even let y'all know about it. Do that research. All right, y'all. Peace. Thumbs up, subscribe, talk to me in the comments. Bye.